Welcome to the Safe Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Eric.
Oh, you butchered that one.
I did.
Oh,
But
yes. I'm Dominic.
we are currently on episode 108, and we have a very special guest. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place. We have
You are
Brian with True LinksWear,
you are butchering.
footwear designed to enhance your time on and off the course. If you're following them, if you're not following them on Instagram, make sure to hit that follow button. Their handle is at True LinksWear. Brandon, thank you for joining us. Totally butchered that intro. I've been pretty good, but maybe it's just there was so much going on in the last like
You're
3 minutes.
there's
So
usually like a couple
yeah,
over the year where you're just
yeah.
like,
I had to save one for the end of the year. So,
yeah.
but thank you so much for hopping on the podcast and joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I mean, you definitely crushed the intro before you started recording. So
That's
just to all your listeners know, you destroyed it, and then you hit record, and then I don't know, you kind of fumbled
right.
it a little bit, but that's all
Got
right.
I got on the
It
yeah,
turned out
We
great.
can blame Jenny.
yeah, we can blame Jenny.
We can blame
Yeah,
Jenny.
she had me a little off.
Confuzzled.
Yeah, a little confuzzled. No, but again, no, we're super excited about this episode. True Linkswear, you guys have been a very reputable company for a while now, and would really like to just kind of dive in and talk about kind of the history of golf, who kind of created it, and just give us a little bit of a history lesson.
Yeah, before we start, you are definitely a company that I have wanted to have on for a while. I work in the running industry, so I'm very familiar with like zero drop shoes, stuff like that. So I'm very excited to talk shoes and kind of be able to nerd out about it. Um, that and I've seen them all over the course. I have never owned a pair, but I love the new like skeleton drop you guys did. I guess it's not new at this point, but I really loved it. And I'm just excited to like actually be able to sit down and talk about it.
We nerd out on the golf and the big shoe guys. So
Well, and I'm lucky enough to work in the running industry where I've got to work with brands like Ultra, and obviously Brooks had their Pure line back in the day, and that's all zero drop. And obviously there's different philosophies with that. So I'm excited to see how that impacts the golf side of things for sure.
For sure. And one thing we'll have to do after this call is we'll have to get some addresses and get you guys some shoes.
awesome.
One of the things
Love
we
that.
really pride ourselves in is always just like that experience and that comfort. And I wish I got some out to you before the call, but once you guys have a chance to try them out for yourselves, it'll just kind of be like, oh yeah, those are pretty phenomenal. So we'll make that happen.
Cool. I know I've worn, not to keep nerding out, but I've been wearing some Ultras lately. I don't know if you're familiar with Ultra. They're doing the zero drop stuff. They're out of Colorado. It's definitely a different feel. I don't know if you've ever worn
No,
zero drop. It engages your legs a little bit more. So I think for golf you might feel a little bit more connected.
if I can
That
connect
might
with the
be
golf course, I think that's a good thing.
it's like Happy Gilmore, right? You want to send the ball home. So maybe you being the golf course.
Right,
Well,
yeah, I like it.
it might maybe
Oh
we'll
yeah.
say par.
Yeah, safe part is good for me.
It's one of those things you don't have to worry about. I mean, there's so many other things to think about, during the round that the last thing you want to worry about is slipping or, just kind of mess up the swing. Like that's the last thing people want to be worried about. So hopefully it's just one of those things that you wear them for 18 and you don't even think about your shoes. They just perform, they're there and they crush it and you just focus on your game and hopefully reduce the amount of three putts that you're working on. So that's the goal anyway.
Right, hundred
It's
percent.
a great goal.
Yeah. So can you? I just wanted to say. So I was doing some research a little bit, and the founders is it Jason and Ryan Moore, right? Is that the founders of the
Correct.
company? Okay. So I know a little bit behind the company. Again, I followed you guys. We've both been following you for quite some time. So yeah, I think this is again kind of talking about nerding out a little bit. We just really love to hear that kind of story of how that transpired.
Yeah, it's actually really, really interesting. Jason and Ryan, I don't know if you know, obviously Ryan's on tour, but Jason caddied for him for a long time when they were first starting out. And the way they tell the story is they were in Ireland, I think it was, in 2008, 2009, something like that. And they were just talking about how uncomfortable the shoes were. I mean, Jason's been caddying, Ryan's on tour, and the conversation was just shoes suck right now. I mean, they're just overbuilt foot cages as they would describe them, using really heavy materials, really uncomfortable materials, especially when you slap spikes on the bottom. And they just kind of talked about like, why doesn't a comfortable golf shoe exist? I mean, everyone has their favorite pair of running shoes. Everyone has a favorite pair of shoes that they wish they could wear on the course, but the two just never really meshed. So they really kicked things off with that conversation just over, some Guinness and talking about why did this never exist in the marketplace? And they finally just decided, no, we're going to do it ourselves. So no experience in footwear, no experience in, creating things, but they put together a team to really tackle and create, the world's most comfortable golf shoe. And, here we are 14, 15 years later. And I mean, to say that it's grown into something really, really, amazing is an understatement. The product line itself has evolved for years and continue to get better. It started with back in 17, they did kind of a brand refresh. They brought HQ back up to Tacoma, Washington. That's where we are right now. If you can't tell by the rain and general, disarray out there. Um, but they brought it back to Tacoma, where a lot of us grew up, and basically reduced the product line to one shoe. And they kind of hit the ground running back in ecom in 17 and relaunched with one shoe. And the rest is history. So we're, since that relaunch, we're about 6 years in. We've probably got at least, a dozen shoes in our lineup. And we continue to churn out footwear, apparel, just all under the guise of the world's most comfortable golf gear. That started with footwear and really has grown into apparel. And we just released our first jacket a week ago, our first vest a week ago. So it's really becoming a household name in terms of just performance golf goods that can be worn on and off the course.
Sure. So it's kind of started more the footwear, but now it's kind of expanded in both apparel and which I've noticed on on your Instagram and your website. Is it was it originally True? Is it still considered True or True Links? Is it because I kind of watched a little bit of the video of Ryan kind of describing, and it was kind of True, which I like the name behind trying to stay true to the game and trying to stay true to. So is it still is what is it specific? Because I got it as like True LinksWear, so I'm just kind of curious on that.
It's True LinksWear. The official
Okay.
company is True LinksWear. We all just call it True, and we use a lot of True in our branding, just shortening it up, making it a little bit easier and memorable.
Yep.
People call us True Links all the time, which I don't know why. I don't know where that came from, but it's just always True Links. But it's like, no, guys, just go full True LinksWear or just go True. Just
Yep.
pick one.
Totally understand it. No, I think you said it's you guys are doing a phenomenal job. You guys have been featured on Forbes, Golf Week, Men's Journal, Sports Illustrated. Like what? I mean, that's a big
It's a big assortment.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's and those are big names. I mean, how has that impacted your company specifically?
I mean, I would love to say there was some big impact toward us, but we still are really just, we have a big sign in the office that says "Forever the Underdog." We have that, humble mindset of we've never really made it. So we're still a really small group of people that are just really excited and passionate to be doing what we're doing. And, it doesn't matter if we're, in Golf Digest or Forbes or whatever it is. I mean, we're going to stay true to ourselves and we don't let our heads get too big. We're just thankful to be featured and thankful people are really recognizing what we're doing to the game. And it's fun to see. We're really thankful to have that kind of publicity and to get the name out there. But at the end of the day, we've got a really, really big mountain to climb. A lot of really impressive footwear brands out there and apparel brands in the industry. So the best is ahead of us, and we're staying humble with it.
I should say, is your target audience like as far as like the everyday golfer? Like who is your target audience? Like who would be kind of like a I don't want to say like competitor, like yeah, like what are some of your goals as far as True Links wear? Like where would you like to see yourself?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of brands that are trying to get into golf that have really established apparel lines. You look like Biore, you look at like some Lululemon. They're actually in a lot of golf shops now because that golf leisure and really comfortable, versatile golf gear doesn't really exist. So we're looking for that golfer that wants performance ready gear, but they also want to be comfortable with what they wear. They don't want to wear some overbuilt jacket that just makes swishy sounds the entire time or that just doesn't flex with your swing. Um, they also just really appreciate versatility. I mean, how many times have you seen guys just get to the golf course, sit at the trunk of their car, put on their spikes, click, 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 walk over to the clubhouse. They get on the course, they play, and they have to click, click, click back to their trunk, switch into their slides. It's like we literally just slip on our shoes when we leave the house, wear them to the course, hop out of the car, jump right on the course, and go to the bar afterward. The versatility and performance is really, really paramount to what we're doing. And you don't sacrifice that performance by having that versatility. So we really target that golfer that wants a very high performing golf shoe, but also values style and fashion and comfort overall. There are probably people that have blisters from wearing old FootJoys or old Nikes or something like that just is not comfortable, and they're just kind of done with the status quo. And that's where we come in because it doesn't exist in the market nowadays, or at least a lot less than it used to.
Yeah, I like that you said versatility and everything like that. I'm looking at your guys' website with all the different lineups and everything. One that I've always been kind of gravitating towards is the True Lux Hybrid, just because like stylistically they look really nice. But I also like that it's outdoor adventure, walking, and wet conditions. Like you said,
Mhm.
you can literally put them on
You walk out the door,
walk out the
essentially.
door with them. Would you say there's like a casual audience in mind where, you know, you might see these on a person who just like the look of them, but they might just, you know, go wear them to work, stuff like that.
It's a good question.
You know, because
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of like when we had Tomo
Yeah.
with Sunny.
Yeah.
Sunny was saying he could wear his to the airport and
Yeah.
everything like that. It kind of reminded me of these. Obviously, these look a little bit more structured, a little bit more supportive than the Tomos. Um, but is there like an element of wow, the everyday person could wear these if they wanted?
For sure, for sure. We call them four product lines. If you look at the Lux line, Lux is just tailored for golf. The Lux Hybrid specifically is probably our best selling golf shoe of this year. We brought it in, I want to say in January of 23, and then we sold out in March, which was crazy for us. Like we brought in plenty. We thought it was gonna be a cool shoe, but that thing just it flew.
Huh.
Was we were out of stock for like maybe 4 months out of the year. It sucked. But our Lux lineup is really tour level performance. So we have our Lux Tour, we have our Lux Hybrid. We had a couple other Lux shoes in the mix that we just kind of phased out over time. But the Lux line is geared up for that golf specific individual that really wants performance. It has a 2-year waterproof guarantee. It has our tour tested tread. It's what all of our tour pros wear. So that is geared toward the golfer. If you check out the all day lineup, that one's probably geared a little bit more toward the casual golfer, somebody that might just want to slip out for a quick range session during work. That one is for just slip it on and go. One of my favorite shoes I'm wearing right now is the All Day Knit 3. It's our third iteration of the knit, which had been our best selling shoe. It's phenomenal. We probably sold over like 100,000 pairs of the knit itself.
Jeez, that's awesome.
It crushes it. The knit 2 itself, I mean, we were doing Black Friday specials with that thing, and we sold thousands of them over Black Friday. And it's just cool to see because it's the most comfortable, versatile shoe we've ever made. You slip it on, you don't even need to use the laces, and you can wear it in really with anything: jeans, shorts, khakis, whatever you want. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal. So,
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep going.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, if you're looking for like that versatile, casual, kind of like all day shoe, the all day series is pretty amazing. We also have the Future Staples series, which is kind of like an elevated take on it. For someone that's usually like working a 9 to 5, maybe wants something a little bit nicer. We have some like really cool like FSO1, FSO2, which is more of an upscale kind of like all day wear shoe, but with some more like leather accents and really nice little features. So we have something for everybody within the lineup for people that really identify as like a hardcore competitive golfer, or for people that are just like, I identify with the golfer's lifestyle and I like it. It's where we talk about what Vans, Etnies, DC did for skate shoes, and I think that was back in like the early 2000s. I was guilty. I wore DC all the time, but people that identified with the skate lifestyle, I mean, they didn't necessarily skate. So we kind of think of that being with golf, that you don't have to be a 4 handicap to wear our shoes. If you like golfing, if you like the apparel, you like the comfort, wear them. I mean, it's just like the old skate shoes.
I remember the Osiris D3.
The Osiris, yeah.
That was the one with the really fat tongue.
Yep.
Osiris retroed those a couple of years ago, and I'm still wishing I bought a pair just because they were a little before me in my skate career. But
I remember those. Yeah.
those ones are just like bone
I
bricks.
rocked a little bit of the Vans. We were talking about that earlier. Actually, Dom got me the Vans
Book for
the
Christmas.
book for Christmas. Yeah, so I'm gonna deep dive into that book for sure. But I used to rock some Vans, and I also had a couple pairs of the Tony Hawks
I
as
did
well.
DCs in that needs for sure. Oh, the
I remember
memories.
those.
Yeah,
I broke my ankle
Oh
on a pair of
man.
Supras.
that's not good.
Oh,
So-
that was fun.
Yeah,
That was a good day. Yeah.
skating is one of those. Like I said, it's the golf skating culture is definitely combining into one. It's been growing.
They're
into that.
mingling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. But I remember the skating days. It was like as a younger person, like you could get up after trying to do a kick flip and rolling an ankle, and now it's like there's no chance for me to even
I think
attempt
my
that.
favorite thing is our guy Beard with Sucker Pin Society. Every picture he posts, he's in like a Santa Cruz hoodie
Yeah,
on the
he's a
golf
big, yeah, he's
course.
yeah, yeah,
Obviously, he's being from the Bay and
sure,
everything. He's all surf. Well, not really surf, but he's got that definitely like that
yeah,
vibe. So,
100%.
oh, that makes me like feel young again.
It's like nostalgic, just remembering the days of like what was it, like
Yes.
the Fun Dips and like the Nickelodeon, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, we have that conversation quite a
Fun
bit.
dips.
yep.
Ooh,
Jesus. Yeah.
Dunkaroos, fun dips.
The
Yeah,
Dunker. Oh, I forgot about the Dunkers. So there's
yeah.
I'm
Do you
sure
guys remember ring pops
ring pops.
or
Yep.
the baby bottle pops? Those were like the shit.
Well, there's a couple pages on Instagram that are like those nostalgia's 90s is nostalgia 80s, and like it'll come across and like totally forgot about that. Whatever it might have been, and it's like,
Yeah, all that's like before my time.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's up my alley. I'm in the 90s. I'm 34, so that's kind of same
I
kind
get it.
of.
I'm 36. We're all
Yeah.
36 here pretty
So
much for the most
yeah,
part. So we all grew up in the 90s and
sure.
with all that same stuff. I mean, we had to adjust the cable antennas on a TV. We had to do
It's
dial up, you know?
right. And not only
Never
that, yeah, the dial-up, and
never
then
done
uh,
any
and
of
then
that.
the big fat tube TVs where they weighed about 8,000 pounds. Now they're like
And
they
we were
weigh.
like yay thick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Never done
But
any of
we
that.
get
Uh,
we get a little we get a little off topic here. We always decide that's why it's golf and things. I kind of butchered that intro, like you said, not in the beginning though. Before we hopped on, I didn't butcher it as we said earlier. But um, are you like what's your focus for like 2024? Do you have like a new lineup of shoes that you're creating, or are you trying to concentrate on the same shoes that you have, but just maybe like do a couple different color options? Like what do you have planned for 2024?
We need more dead golfer stuff too.
we have plenty of dead golfer stuff
I'm a
on the
big
horizon.
fan of that.
Yeah,
So do not worry. There's plenty of dead golfer coming.
Good.
Um, it's honestly a little bit of everything. Um, I would say the 2024 lineup. We're just looking at our first launch calendar of Q1, and I mean it's more robust than we've ever had. I think in this year we probably released like maybe 3 new models. I think we have 3 new models dropping in the first quarter next year. We have a really really fun limited edition model dropping around Masters, which we've done pretty much every year, and that's always absolutely nuts. We bring in super limited quantities. I think we don't have any more on the site at this point, but we sell out within usually 48 to 72 hours. And this year's going to be no different. The shoe this year is just nuts. It's probably like the cleanest looking shoe I've ever seen that we've made. Um, yeah, it's impressive. The team really outdid themselves on this one. So it's coming. It comes with like a whole slew of things, and I can't really say much more than that right now. But that's going to be fun.
can you tell us a little bit about like the design process of like how big is the team that goes and be like, okay, this is from start to finish, what does the design process look like, and how long does it typically take to decide on a pair of shoes? Be like, okay, this is what we want. Let's move forward.
Yeah, and that's a good question. And I think one thing that we utilize here that I would say, I don't really know if any other shoe companies do this. We call it selfish innovation, which we made up. But it's essentially we just make stuff that we want to wear. Um, realistically, at
That's
the end of the
awesome.
day, like
Selfish
if we're not
innovation.
going
I
to wear
like
it,
it.
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
if
I
we're
like
not
it.
going to, yeah, we're not going to wear it. We're not going to make it.
Sure.
So there's a lot of stuff that comes out in concepts. Like we find a lot of shoes that we really like. There's some like industry leading footwear. And we draw inspiration from all across the world. I mean, footwear, apparel, art, just really things that speak to us. And we just decided like, can we make it into a shoe? Does it need to exist? Is there a gap in the market? Do we selfishly want it? I can remember one of the shoes a while back was I was talking to Jason and probably it's called our Lux Sport that we launched, but it was like, man, I want our knit, but I want it waterproof. And I was like, all right, like I think we can do something. So, after like a year and a half, we came out with the Lux Sport, which is basically a waterproof version of the knit with a couple of different features. We're moving on from that now. That one's discontinued, but it was kind of like a 2-year lifespan, 2.5, 3 year actually. Yeah, 2 to 3 year lifespan. So it did its job. But we just pull from areas of need, gaps in the market, and what we selfishly want to wear. So I think you'll see a lot of that coming out next year, especially with like the kind of the leisure lineup as well. So we've released a slide this year, which we were like, that would be so cool to make.
I
So we
love
dropped the
those.
slide.
I love the look of those. I was gonna buy a pair, and then selfishly, I work with UFOs, and I'm like, can I have a pair of the clogs? And then I didn't buy a pair of your slides. And damn it, I should have bought a pair of the slides because the clogs don't fit with socks.
Oh,
But
They're
damn, they
pretty.
look
They're
good.
pretty amazing. Super lightweight.
They
Um,
look
but it's that kind of
phenomenal.
stuff. They turned out amazing, and that's what makes it really fun. Is just we come up with this idea, so the development team does. I don't want to take any credit. I definitely don't do anything, but the design team,
Really
they
down.
pull through, and they find stuff like that where it's just like there really isn't a really awesome golf slide out there, like the perfect shoe you just leave in your trunk and you slip on after your round, or when you go home, just something like I use mine, like taking the trash out, or
mhm.
just going out back and taking the dog for a walk. I mean, something like that is just like everybody kind of needs it. Um,
So
so
my
within like a lot
favorite
of
thing
launches
about
and
them
stuff.
not to interrupt, but I love that. So I like things that are kind of like overly engineered. Um, I love the traction on the bottom. You could play golf in these things. Was that
Oh yeah,
was that on accident, or is that like a purpose driven thing?
it was on purpose. I mean, we've used that same sole design for a while, and everything we make is like golfable. There is no shoe that we make that you couldn't go golf with, and they all have that little bit of extra tread, a lot of like that directional tread pattern as well. Just designed to give you a little more stability with your golf swing, whereas like a skate shoe wouldn't. Um, Everything we have is ready to perform, typically in either wet or dry. Everything should perform in dry, but you look at like the hybrid and the Lux stuff, like you're geared up for rain or for wet, and it's just all like you can wear it on the concrete, you can wear it wet grass, you can really wear them anywhere. That just goes back to that versatility we were talking about.
You have some really cool ambassadors, including Christina Kim, Mark Hubbard, I think Chris Kirk, Joel Damon now I think is also.
America, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's it, yeah, what's it like working with these professional PGA and LPGA tour players? Because I know obviously said with Ryan, he is a PGA tour player himself, but what does that mean for the.
I love how you didn't include him as an
Well,
ambassador.
that's what I was gonna say it afterwards. I guess he's kind of the founder
The head
slash. Yeah,
ambassador.
exactly. But like
Yeah.
what does that mean for True LinksWear? And is that something you're gonna continue to target as more PGA and LPGA tour players as well?
Yeah, definitely. And the cool thing about those guys is they're good people, first off, and they genuinely like the product. We haven't set out to just try to sign as many tour players as we possibly can. Like that's just not our MO. We call ourselves good people making good products. And same with our tour players. We just find people we like to hang out with. Like some of the guys on staff, like Joel and Mark and Ryan, are just some of the coolest people that you're ever going to talk to. Joel is hilarious. His caddy's amazing. I mean, everything about these guys is just like you just want to have like grab a beer with them. Christina's amazing. Hung out with her a couple times. It's just everybody that is that wears True. Like it's for good reason, not just that they're a tour player. It's that they're a good person and that they're fun and they mesh with the mantra of the company and what we stand for and what we do. And they're all just phenomenal people. Like Joel is just one of the guys. I mean, he's told us multiple times that if he could just, if he wasn't golfing, he'd just be, on tour, he'd be out just golfing at his muni, just throwing back White Claws every day. So
We
that's kind of
watched him
like
do that,
his.
I
yeah.
was gonna say what you
He
see on
does.
TV is what you kind of get in real life.
You're
Huh?
really watching him throw
Yeah,
back some white
Yeah,
claws.
yeah.
yeah,
No, that's awesome. I like like kind of like how you answer that. It's like some companies are about that of like we're just trying to get our name out there and hire as many people, that have a name rather than actually fully invested in the company itself, which I think that kind of is a kind of really how a sponsorship or an ambassador kind of should work, right? It's kind of a two sides to that scenario. And I like that because it it's just one of those things that you just watching some of the videos and seeing that those are, like you said, the people that you've signed seem like genuine people. So it kind of speaks volumes to your company as well. Um, I liked the golden ticket giveaway with Chris Kirk. It was very kind of unique. Who kind of comes up with the creative side? Is there certain teams? I'm assuming there's probably different teams and different departments throughout the company, but the Instagram, I was going to comment on that, but the Instagram, like the photos, I mean, they all have that same tone that looks. They do a heck of a job. Who does most of that?
yeah. Would you believe that we really have a small team? Like we're a very very small group. We probably got a small number of people in dev, and then a couple people on the marketing team. And I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of customer care folks and warehouse workers, but it's really just I would say like 6 7 people that kind of do the whole gamut of things. From product development and creation and testing, sampling, and all the marketing, the photo shoots, the video shoots, um, social media, web development. Like it's really just a small group of people. And it's just a testament to just the hard work and effort the team puts in here. I mean, it's a small group of just people that really are passionate about golf and learning more and taking on more and just progressing their careers and stuff like that. So it's really kind of a nice mix of people that just are really passionate about the game and e-commerce and kind of getting the brand out there. So it's fun. I mean, it's really we don't same thing with our pros. We don't hire people that just don't mesh with the company vibes. And everyone here is like a buddy and a friend, and we're really lucky to have each other. So it's pretty amazing culture, to be honest.
That's probably one of the The culture is probably one of the best things to make a successful company, right? If you don't have that culture, if it's not there, if there's always one or two people that can kind of really wreak havoc on a company. So it's important, I think, for establishing a company is having that culture.
Yeah, whoever does your Instagram does a great job too.
Yeah.
I reached out, they're like, oh, email him. And I was like, got it.
I,
So shout out whoever does the Instagram.
yeah, I so the creative posts, I mean, again, from the ideas that you come up with, but also like I said, every time there's a new photo popping up, it looks like they're like either at abandoned dunes or somewhere really nice. It's like, oh, geez, that's the ideal setup right there.
Oh yeah, and then we really tried to hit like the aspirational kind of lifestyle. We're not
Mm.
like gonna have everything just on a tour player or like, just Augusta or some random amazing courses. It's more attainable luxury that like everyone really wants to have like that abandoned dune trip with their buddies. Like that's what we aspire for, right? Like just 3 days of beautiful golf on like some of the most scenic courses in the world. Like I just want to go with my friends and hang out. Like I don't need to be a scratch golfer for it. I can, be an 18 handicap and I can still have a great time. And, I don't aspire to be a pro. I just aspire to have fun and hang with my friends. And that's kind of like where we go. But that doesn't mean that if I'm an 18 handicap, I have to play at the local muni and just kind of hide my shame. Um, I can also go to Bandon and I can go, to any of these amazing courses. We have Chambers Bay right down the street. Um, so people that just love the game and love the environment should just aspire for fun guys trip, fun girls trip, just get out and play the game and, spend it with people that you love.
I think I skipped over this question, but do you have a storefront where somebody can come in, or is it pretty much all like online or in different shops?
We do a lot of just e-com, like direct to consumer,
Yeah,
but we also have a lot of green grass accounts. So like Chambers Bay Socks our shoe. We have a lot of just green grass shops that have them in pro shops. We're also in Costco, which is pretty cool. That happened this year,
that's
and
really
we
cool.
do.
I love
So
Costco.
Yeah.
do I. I haven't seen them in
Oh
there
yeah.
yet though. I'm in the wrong Costco.
They're online right now. I think they got some door tests next year. I'm not really sure.
Oh,
But the
so Philly
wholesale team
shops
we
are
have,
great.
yeah,
Yeah,
we have the wholesale guys that are just like, I mean, you think like the marketing team gets out there. I mean, the wholesale guys are 10 times more just like
sure.
adventurous and aggressive getting the product out there. So it's really cool to see. Um, especially like I would just love to make a Kirkland golf shoe, but TBD, it'd
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
You
maybe down
never
the
know.
pipes. Yeah, exactly.
One thing I wanted to ask, I love that you guys have like a second chance thing on your website where you can buy like I don't want to say used in like a negative way, but like maybe it's just like a return or something like that. Do you want to kind of touch on that a little bit? Because I think that's really cool and definitely I haven't seen that from any big brands before.
Yeah, I love that project. It's just repurposing. Like we do a lot of sustainability stories kind of within our product and the materials used. And we realized pretty early on that there's a lot of shoes that go to waste. People wear them once and then get some dirt on them and it's like, oh, can't wear it anymore, can't sell it. So these things just stock up in the warehouse and there's really not much you can do with it. We started doing like kind of garage sale, warehouse sales, this year and having like some local stuff happen. But we kind of need to practice what we preach in terms of sustainability and like reusing products and reusing materials. So it was actually our Australian distributors that came up with the idea of Second Chance. And they were like, you guys, it's booming down here. You got to give it a try. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. And, we just took a lot of inventory that came back and most of it is not like this destroyed, terrible inventory. It's like somebody wore it out for a round, realized they didn't like it and they send it back. We just wipe it down and put it in a bag and sell it in a second chance. And it really resonates with the community. Um, just kind of giving shoes a second shot at life because I mean, some people like, I mean, I get it. If you don't want to spend 250 bucks on a golf shoe, like, I mean, times are tough, but if you want to get a really awesome pair of shoes for 80 bucks, great. Like I'm happy that that shoe gets a chance at, having a good shoe life for, whatever it is. And, you get a steal of a deal. So hopefully, if someone finds a shoe that they really like, they give it a chance and second chance and they come back and buy a brand new one next year. So
Great marketing. Well, I said it's for a good purpose.
Well, I thought it was really
Yeah,
cool because a
love
lot
it.
of places will just like throw it away or,
Yeah, that's
donate it, which don't get me wrong, donating is a great thing too. But if you could sell it at a cheaper price and it's not mangled or destroyed, why wouldn't you?
right.
Because someone out there is gonna love that shoe.
Yeah, and
Or
like you
the
said,
trunk of your
like
car is gonna love it. One of
yeah,
the two.
oh yeah, and there's so many times it's just like internally, like I'm gonna go play Chambers with some friends, and I have to get a new pair of shoes or something like that. I'll just go grab something off second chance, because it's not bad. Like literally the inventory is like 99% perfect, but we do for all the new stuff, hold ourselves to a high standard of like, what can we sell? So we want to make sure that people that buy a full price shoe obviously get like the best experience possible, from the shipment to the unboxing to the performance on the course, and subsequent rounds after that.
So we've obviously talked about footwear. Um, I want to talk about apparel as well, but what would be your number one seller in the footwear for the most part?
Yeah, right now, I would just say since I've been here, I would say the Knit 2 has been our best selling shoe. Um, Probably just because the comfort that it provides. They absolutely hit the nail on the head with the flexibility, the versatility. I think at one point I had like 5 pairs of them. Um, but I mean, they're just like potato chips, man. Once you stop, like with that shoe, once you start, you just can't stop.
Can't stop.
And we've continued to like release new colorways and like seasonal colors, limited editions, and people like have like 8 or 9 pairs of these. We see all the time on Instagram. They're like, man, I can't quit these things. And you see their shoe racks and just like cruise literally everywhere on it. So it's really just like, it's awesome to see. It's kind of humbling, to know that we're like have that kind of impact on somebody's life and, their fashion choices. So always staying true to ourselves is like, that's pretty awesome. That's really cool to see.
Yeah, I bet it's gonna be really humbling. We were talking like you were talking about earlier, but it'd be really cool just to like see somebody, wearing a pair of the shoes, and you ask them like, oh, just maybe start a small conversation, and the fact that like the guy doesn't even play golf, but
Hmm.
he's wearing them because you know what I mean. Like that's the kind of the cool thing about this shoe. Like I said, like it's designed for golf, but you can wear it on an everyday basis. So I mean, some of these shoes I'll wear to to a work meeting or whatever. They make them where you can wear a nice casual outfit with the shoes to go along with it, which is
Yeah,
Yep.
like
And
that True Lux Sport. It looks like I don't want to say it, but it looks a lot like an Adidas shoe almost, where it's casual but it's very performance driven.
I like that one.
I know you do.
That
That's
one's good.
something that you could just wear like casually, right? Like you wear it to work. It'd be kind of wild just to see one like in the wild and be like, you like those? And then just be like, oh yeah, I love them, and not even know who you are. That or just like, no, I hate these things. You're like, well, sorry.
Well, here's a second chance.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you a different
yep.
pair.
Oh yeah. And that's honestly, you hit the nail on the head though. That's kind of part of the fun is we go up to Bellevue all the time and we'll just kind of walk around. We take our daughter up there and just let her kind of run around the little park. But we see people wearing Trues all the time. And like that's kind of like just a kind of
Yeah.
moment where like just some random dude, we spark up conversations all the time. Like my wife has no shame. She just talks to everybody. So she's like, hey, nice Trues. Where'd you get those? And he goes like, oh, I just found them online and I really like them. And we'll just get people talking about them. And it's really cool to see. um, know that just you have that kind of impact on somebody's life and their choices, and they choose to purchase your stuff, and it's cool to see. It's really just awesome to see people out there wearing your stuff just on their own.
For sure. Is there anything that maybe we didn't ask that you might want to mention about the footwear before we talk about apparel at all?
No, I think we touched on a lot of it. I mean, I think a lot of what we're doing, you guys hit the nail on the head. With the product line and kind of the ambassadors, and um, even though we're getting into apparel, I mean, footwear is still our bread and butter. Like I was looking at the calendar, we have so many new shoes coming out next year. Um, I mean, from top performance golf shoes to really comfortable casual options. I mean, it's just 24 is going to be a wild year for us.
Actually, before you started doing
No,
the
no,
rapid
no,
fire
no.
stuff or the apparel,
Yeah.
what was the thought behind the zero drop?
Yeah, the zero drop, that was actually the first shoe they relaunched in 17 was the original. And the thought behind that was just golfers wanted to feel connected to the course. And the original is
Feel
an
it.
insanely thin sole. So you basically, especially with that wide toe box, you can really feel everything on the course. You can feel the slope. You can feel um, every single blade of grass almost beneath your feet. And it's just a really natural experience. And people, I think back in the early days of True, the zero drop was one of their best performing shoes. And it was just like their high, people love foot health, and people are really into just, performance benefits that zero drop and wide toe box gives you. And, when we looked at what we talked about overbuilt foot cages, a lot of the shoes that are just so narrow and so like lifted, they just are not good for your posture and not good for your foot health. And the zero drop shoes just really resonated with that crowd of being really, I mean, true for lack of a better term. And it's just something that allows golfers just to feel every single step of the course, like you're walking barefoot. And it just helps people stay connected and closer to the ground, and just golfers love it.
So how often do you get out and play golf then?
Not as much as I should.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Again, look
Very
behind me. It
common
is
answer.
Yeah.
pissing rain right now.
Yeah.
But we get out every now and then. Thankfully, we have a simulator in the office. Um, so that's not terrible.
We should get a simulator in the office.
Yeah, we need to get a simulator too. We gotta get office first,
We
but
could
we're
just hit
working on
balls off the balcony.
that. Yeah,
Do it.
right. Yeah.
Do it.
Um,
And it's
A
so
little foam
just to
one.
transition over to apparel, I don't have like too many questions about that, but just kind of wanted to, I know you've done some collaborations and such. But can you just tell us kind of where you're at for the apparel going into 2024? You know, you got hats,
I love it.
all
I
sorts of
love it.
different stuff. But
The
what,
hoodies.
yeah, the hoodies, like what do you have coming up in the calendar? And then also like maybe what is one of your favorite pieces of clothing that you have right on the website?
Yeah, so we just, as of like maybe a week ago, actually just got inventory today. We dropped our first rain jacket, and the groups that we're working with to develop these have years and years and years of like mountaineering jackets and mountaineering apparel and gear under their belt. So we really decided to go into apparel with how do we make something comfortable that's also built for the weather and built for golf. Something that's Pacific Northwest inspired. You'll notice a lot of our stuff is super minimalist. We don't have big logos or big flashy like stripes or anything crazy on them. It's just a natural, comfortable, plain tee or plain hoodie or what have you. Um, but we just dropped our first jacket. That's amazing. We dropped our first vest. Um, this year was actually like our first full year of selling apparel, so we're kind of fresh into the apparel game. But we learned a lot. It was really a crash course in apparel. So we have a lot of items that are carrying forward, but also a lot of items that even go away. And go back to selfish innovation. If we don't love it and think it's still sort of a purpose, we're done with it. So there's some things that we can make better that we'll see kind of early 24. Some items coming out that we were like, yeah, we like it, but we can make it better. So we'll move on to new things. And yeah, the jacket and the vest are great. We just launched the all day polo, which we went with a different material for it that's more lightweight, more breathable, but still that all day comfort and all day performance. With very minimal branding. I think all we have is just like a tone on tone logo on the sleeve, and that's pretty much it. So we have a couple new items that just dropped, and then a couple more coming out next year. I think it's late February. We have a new hoodie coming out. We have some new pant options coming out as well. So it's just going to be hot and heavy with product from apparel to footwear in 24.
I do like loud apparel, but at the same time, I'm a pretty I like to say like I'm a like when I wear normal clothes, I'm a pretty minimalist. I like black t-shirts essentially.
We can tell.
Yeah, I'm always rocking a black
Yeah.
t-shirt. That's kind of my style and jeans. But I like that you mentioned it though, like the earth tones, just more the minimalist style. And I actually was thinking the same thing because the same thing with all the shoes. There's nothing real like flashy, so to speak, but they all look really nice. You know what I mean? They look good quality, but to the natural tones. Was that inspired by like where you guys are located then? Is that there's obviously got to be some sort of reason behind that.
Yeah, I mean, we still really strongly identify as a Pacific Northwest brand, and that's exactly what you're going to see in like the earth tones and
Mhm.
natural tones that we use from the blacks, the greens, the blues, the gray, the white. It's just us, like you wouldn't catch anybody here wearing bright red shoes, ever really. I mean, this is kind of like what you see is what you get. I mean, I have a
Yeah.
closet full of black t-shirts.
But you're not gonna
There's
wear
only
this
probably
like
like
beautiful sweater.
I told you I wore a romper the other day, so I mean, I wouldn't say
That's
never.
true. That's true.
It depends on the situation, but
Yeah.
I mean, on your day to day, like it's very basic. That's why a lot of our products don't even have big branding on them. The
I
footwear,
like
we
that.
don't have a big
Yeah.
swoosh on the side. We don't have a big like three stripes for a D. Like it's just there's really nothing. It's just a very subtle logo hit because we want the material and the product to stand out and be something where people don't need to be like, hey, look at me, I'm wearing XYZ. It's just a high quality material that doesn't need crazy embellishments or branding all over it.
And I'd imagine that if somebody likes them, they see it, they're probably gonna ask that person like, "What is it?" It almost like sparks that conversation.
Yeah. I mean, to say that like we have a cult like following is a major understatement.
Mhm.
People do that all the time, and people seek each other out in airports or on the course. And oh, you're wearing Trues. Where'd you get those? How do you like them? It's crazy to see. It really is because like anybody, if you catch wearing Trues and you ask them about them, they will be your best friend in like 10 seconds. It's almost like this weird like secret handshake that everybody has. That like if you know, kind of a
Yep,
thing.
I like that. So we'll just do some rapid fire questions, but I do want to ask, like I typically ask this in most podcast episodes, but there's like one piece of advice that you could give to a person or an entrepreneur, kind of, I would say more business related. Like what would you suggest, or what would your yeah, what would you
Yeah,
suggest?
I mean that's such a loaded question. I mean, there's a million things I would suggest. Um, but my one suggestion would be just don't be afraid to try. Um, I think even like my own personal career path and where I am today, like I'm really blessed and lucky to be here. Um, coming out of college and working just some sales jobs and taking an interest in marketing, taking night classes, just kind of grinding to get to this point. And again, I don't feel like I've made it, anywhere, but you have to start somewhere and you have to try. Um, so if you have an opportunity, and even if you don't know exactly how to do it, just take a shot, ask questions. Um, I always appreciate working with people that aren't afraid to just jump in and give something a shot. Um, I mean, you're never going to get anywhere just kind of hanging out, but if you want to give it a try, like you'll learn a lot about yourself and what you can do, maybe what you're not good at, and you can potentially learn more from your failures than you do your successes. So just don't be afraid to try, get out there, take a shot, and do what you love.
You got to take that leap.
Yeah, well
That's the
said. Yeah,
the scariest part for people,
it's a
but you got to take it.
yep. So yeah, we've talked about this. That's probably one of the most common answers, but you worded it really well, and that's I think the biggest hindrance of a lot of people is they just don't want to actually take that initiative or take that leap. And so yeah, no, I love that. Okay, so we do some rapid fire questions. They're pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And then we ask a food related question at the end. So we're just about done. But I'll start it off. I think I've already asked this. Well, actually, I don't think I have. But what is your favorite shoe right now on the market that you have?
My favorite shoe, the one I'm currently wearing, is the Knit 3 Dead Golfer Edition. So it's a black on black Knit 3 with Bury Me on the Links on the insole and then a Dead Golfer print on a translucent tread.
The back of the luck says like till death do us
Yeah,
part.
yeah,
I
that's
love
sweet.
it.
I love that. I'll let you ask that one because I think you wanted to ask that one. I think
Who would your dream collab be? Like if you could collaborate with any kind of company, TaylorMade, Callaway. I think a club with like the dead golfer on it would be sweet. Other than obviously you have your irons, but
I
like
think I have one on the website.
I just said other than the
Oh,
irons,
oh yeah,
yeah.
okay.
But like a driver with like a skeleton on it, I like skeletons.
You know, I would actually probably go a different route because I have a huge baseball background. And I
Mm,
take a lot of like pride in getting baseball players to wear shoes. So we have a lot of Mariners, like I'm a huge Mariner fan. A lot of Mariners lace it up. A lot of the pitchers and players did a trip, I think, out in North Carolina, and like four of like the eight of them were in Trues. And
Oh,
Paul
nice.
Sewald, I love Paul Sewald on the car.
Paul's the dude.
Got traded, unfortunately, but he's wearing a dead golfer hat front and center. And Cal Raleigh's wearing the shoes. George Kirby's wearing the shoes. I mean, just some names that like
Jumper.
I'm a I'm a diehard baseball guy. So my dream collab, I'd probably pick like a Rawlings or a Marucci or one of the brands that like is really in the game. Um, I think it was Bettinardi that did a collaboration with Rawlings, and they did like a custom Rawlings putter with a pure leather head cover or a pure leather
That
cover, and it was
was
just like I was salivating at it. I was like, oh my gosh. Um, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. That's just my baseball background. So I would definitely pick a baseball brand, even yeah, Rawlings or Louisville Slugger, Marucci.
John would
This is a cool
appreciate that.
brand.
I'm a big baseball guy.
How good is Julio? Like, come on.
He's unreal. Like
Unreal.
he is just
I have no idea.
Yeah,
the
I used to follow baseball quite close.
Julio Rodriguez is like Ken Griffey Jr. V2.
That's pretty big praise because I grew up with Ken Griffey Jr. So yeah.
So you might like Julio Rodriguez. They call him J Rod.
Okay.
Oh, he's the
Julio
man.
is the man. If I can get a pair of shoes on him, like I would be so stoked.
I mean, you got one
My
on Big Dumper. That's all you need.
That was cool. And he was like the nicest guy ever too. Like
It's
we reached
Cal
out, and he
Raleigh.
was like super
They call
appreciative
him Big
of it,
Dumper. He's
and
their catcher.
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
he
gonna be
just
really
dumps home
cool.
runs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally,
Quite the
like
nickname.
the dude mashes. Like that's all he does. He catches and mashes.
I would love to go to that ballpark.
I do too.
it's T-Mobile, aka Safeco, whatever you want to call it. It's my favorite place to be.
The Kingdom.
There's there's a spot up in the upper right field bleachers that's like kind of where it's called the Hittier Cafe. And there's this little like overlook area that like you can see downtown Seattle. You can see the sunset setting on the other side. It is just like the perfect spot. And that would be my dream to have, my collaboration and just be chilling up there, having a Rainier and just watching the game. That's like heaven.
Sweet.
Okay, Shindig's gonna go to Seattle.
Quick Mariners story. So like I said, I used to be big into baseball too, and it kind of faded. I follow it, but not like Dom here does. But Back in the day, I was going to a lot of the Twins games used to have like $5 seats, whatever. And it was so we'd go all the time. And anyway, long story short, we were at the game with when the Mariners were in town, and Ichiro was there, and we were on the right field. The same thing. I'm yelling at Ichiro like they're warming up, and I'm Ichiro, throw me the ball. And he like looked right up at me, pointed to me, threw it right into my hands. I got so nervous that he tossed it to me, hit
What?
my hands, and dropped back down. And we tried to get him to throw it back, and like he ended up like he had to leave, and because it was getting ready. So I'm like, that was my we have caught a ball up there, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, I had a chance to get an Ichiro ball, but I blew it.
You
So
probably should have let that story never be told.
no, it's okay. Mariners, and I thought it was
That was your
relevant.
shot, man.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
your
my
shot.
shot.
That was
That's okay.
it.
It was a thought that counts that he was threw it up to me. I just, whatever.
I was
So
just happy to see him play with, even though I saw him play for Miami,
that's right. He played for
the
Miami.
Marlins for a while. Yeah, that's where he got
Forgot.
his 3,000th hit.
Yeah.
He was
Um,
unreal.
he was
Absolutely unreal.
awesome.
He's still
There's a clip
unreal.
of him. There was a clip of him. I think it was 2001, his rookie season, throwing a runner out from right field, like in his like third or
Mhm.
fourth game ever, and that lives in my head rent free nonstop.
Yeah.
He just like no hit a girls team on
And
like
he's
116 pitches.
yeah, he's not like a big guy at all. I mean, but
No.
he's just super fast, super
He
talented.
also taught himself Spanish to trash talk his teammates.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a guy.
So you're on the first tee. What is your walk-up song?
Oh man. I've actually done this before. So one of my buddies had I think he was a season ticket holder at T-Mobile, and they actually get an opportunity to take batting practice
Oh,
on the
sweet.
field. So I got to go with him and take BP on the field. I have videos of it, and it was fine. It was great, but those aren't going to see a light of day.
That's
And the
okay.
walk-up song that I chose was Superman by Goldfinger, talking about like back in the 90s songs, like the old Tony Hawk video game.
Yep.
And it was just perfect. So,
That's cool that they
you
allow
know,
you to even pick up. I mean, it's one thing to be on the field and do that, but then actually pick out a walkout song.
I didn't know you could do that because
That's so
I
cool.
had season tickets with the Twins, so I could put that in as like something I want to do.
You should.
I should see if I can do a walk-up song because that would be sweet.
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. They offer, I don't know if they're doing it anymore, but last year they were offering like, there was some kind of package that was like you and 8 friends get to go out there and take batting practice for like an hour before the game. And it was like $1,000 or something like that. But I was like, for a bachelor party or something, like no
I don't
brainer.
even have
Like,
8 friends, and I'll go.
Yeah. Well, so get on the Facebook Marketplace, just Instagram.
hang outside the stadium and just like try to get people to go in.
Yeah.
And why not? It's an
Right.
experience.
Yeah. Exactly.
You
Well,
could uh you could sandlot it and just point and just kind of
oh, you talking like
Sandlot
these
to
like
bench warmers really
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna ask you this one, but you've already answered. We've just been talking about for the last 10 minutes. But I'll ask this one and you guys ask one. But would you rather be able to hit the ball 320 yards off the tee or never three putt?
I would much rather never three putt because that is exactly the kind of golfer that I am right now. Is that I can hit it a country mile sometimes, but once I get to the green, I am like a lamb out to slaughter. Like I can't do it.
It's
So I'd
amazing how
easily.
that works, right? Like how you can hit a ball like that far, but yet you're putting from like 8 feet and it takes three putts or 15 feet, whatever it is. It's kind of wild.
Oh, it's like almost like a no brainer every time. Like I know it's gonna happen too. Like I'll hit some amazing like iron shot, to 10 feet, and then somehow I'm gonna hit it, 25 feet past the hole, and then another 12 feet back, and it's just like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
And then you
My favorite.
overcompensate next time, and then you hit
exactly.
this little like 2 foot duffer, and it's like, I
Yeah.
hate this game.
Now it's all in
This
your
game.
head. You're like, dude, I can't figure this out. I don't know what's going on.
My favorite is chipping over and over the
Yeah,
green.
going back and forth.
Yeah, that's my favorite. It's my signature.
I'll let you ask this one if you want.
Oh, good, because I was going to ask that whether you wanted me to or
Good. Yeah,
not.
yeah. I was gonna
So for this one, you can't pick Augusta, and then I think that's it.
we say St. Andrews, but you could pick that if you wanted to.
Okay, you can
Yeah.
do it. Where's your dream golf vacation?
Mm. Um, you know, After playing this on the sim quite a bit, Yellowstone National. So Yellowstone National, yeah,
Yellowstone,
that's the just the elevation drops are intense. The whole course is just like high to low, low to high. I think it's the first tee. There's like a 300-foot elevation drop. So if you mash your
Wow.
first tee like drive, you can hit like a 440-foot drive. Just because of the elevation. Um, so that would probably be my
Holy
pick. I mean,
smokes.
I love that answer. I don't think we've never had anyone answer that, but
Look at
I've
that.
had a conversation with somebody that was telling me about this place, and it's supposed to be absolutely amazing.
You see that bunker? I'm in that bunker.
And then you're gonna go back into that other one
And
on the
no,
other
I'm not
side.
gonna go there. I'm gonna go over the green that way.
Um,
I'm
uh,
Googling pictures of it.
so have you okay, so with that kind of follow up on that, what's your favorite course that you've played?
man, I feel like Gannon's just too easy. So I would probably say, let me think. Actually, I'd go Gamble Sands.
What was it?
Gamble Sands, called Gamble
Where's that?
Sands, Eastern
I've heard of it.
Washington. So look at that real fast. I went to school out in Eastern Washington, and it's right on basically the gorge. So you're playing on top of like this insane cliffside with the huge like river, Columbia River, just going right through the gorge. And so most of the
Oh,
holes, you're just looking over absolute beauty.
you see that water? I'm in that water.
So I actually, yeah, I was talking to somebody that lives out there because he was talking Chambers Bay. He said obviously is awesome because I'd love to play that, but he was saying this place is like immaculate.
Yep. And we started getting into like our own little tournament series and stuff, and we're hosting one next year, and it's at Gamble.
That was actually one of my questions I was going to ask you, and I forgot. I skipped right over. What is the True Tour all about? Is it just are you just trying to bring as many people as you can? What's the whole purpose behind that?
Like remember we were talking earlier about kind of like the whole like aspirational buddies trip. That's what
Yep.
these are.
Okay.
We did a handful. We did a handful this year, and we realized it was like I think we just did a couple too many. Trying to like diversify too much. We're like just to do one amazing trip next year. So we partnered with Gamble. We're going out I think in late June,
Okay.
and it's just going to be like the ultimate guys trip. Go out. There's nothing else to do aside from golf and
But
one
golf.
restaurant.
Yep.
But the people that we hang out with, just a lot of friends. Like even the people that like paid to come out to some of these events, it's just like hanging out with your buddies. There just happens to be like 110 of them. So
Sure.
I mean, just good people, good drinks. It's not like this big like sponsorship brand fest or anything like that. It's just a bunch of people that love golfing, and you get 4 rounds in of competitive, fun golf and a lot of drinks, and maybe some poker, maybe some putting, small games and competitions.
Sure.
Um, but it's just an absolute like experience.
Okay. So essentially it is kind of open to anyone who wants to sign up. It's just a matter of filling, under some, whoever shows up. Okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of I've done a couple did like a golf event, not one that we hosted, but I've been to one where it was at uh
Can't be too good if you don't know
no,
the name.
it's in Michigan. It's where the red
Is that
live.
where you were barefoot?
Yeah, yeah, that's just on their little par three, but it's literally like out in the middle of nowhere in Michigan. Forest Dunes. I don't know if you've heard of Forest Dunes, but basically there's three different courses in a par three that they have music, so you walk barefoot, which was awesome. My first experience doing that, but literally that's all there is: golf and a bar and a restaurant. So it's like you kind of like, I mean, you know what I mean? So I kind of like that where you get 4 to 5 rounds of golf in and just kind of socialize, meeting new people, and kind of that are all interested in the same things that you are. So
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I mean, like, there's so many like of those tournaments out there that have like sponsors on every hole, and there's all this crazy stuff happening, and it's like it's cool, but it's also like you can't say a lot about like that just clean golf experience of just out there with some buddies, like making some new friends. I mean, you just bring some beer on the course and just have a good day. It doesn't have to be this crazy festival. It could just be quality golf with quality people.
I think I know this answer, but would you prefer to walk or ride on the course?
I like both, honestly. Like I really do, and that's a cop out answer. I like walking when it's just like I get to just enjoy the course and the scenery. But we don't get a lot of perfect golf weather up here, so I enjoy riding when it's like pissing rain or it's a less than fantastic experience.
Gotcha. So I'll let Dom answer this question, but we like to throw something food related. So if we were to, I'll let Dom take this last question here instead of interrupting you. Go ahead, Dom.
Which one am I
If
asking?
if we're going out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you kept going
Yeah, no, I was
down.
trying
I'm
to
like,
see if
what are
I
we
had some
doing?
other questions.
Behind the scenes, there's like a separate
Yeah,
computer,
you got
and
what's cooking.
Derek has all his
You got me. Well,
questions.
when you talk about the true
We had to like
tournament, I
scroll all the
was
way
like, oh,
up.
I forgot that. So I was just looking to see if there's anything else that I wanted to ask before we hop off. But
So if we're ever in your area, where should we go to eat?
Oh man, it depends on what you want, but there's so much good food around here. Um, I've been really really hot on this place. It's called Cuerno Bravo. this is what I got some of my coworkers for a Christmas present, just a nice gift card there. But it is like it's a Mexican steakhouse, but you get like a huge cut of like really good like Wagyu or really good cut of like just something. But they bring it out like rare on this like hot stone. So just like this scalding hot stone. And what you do is you just cut off a piece of the rare meat and then put it like a little salt on it and then hold it right against the stone to cook it a little bit more. And so every bite you get is like perfectly charred.
I'm in.
And it's just
I'm in.
amazing. And their cocktails also, they have like a jalapeno margarita that is just unbelievable. So I'm actually going to go back next Friday. That's
Can
happening.
you say the place again? Sorry.
It's called Cuerno Bravo. I think it's Cuerno.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Bravo.
go to my cabin and start cooking things on hot rocks.
That's actually like super cool. That'd be awesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's a total experience. Like, I mean, there's something to be said about like Dick's Burgers. That's like a Seattle staple. And there's a million places like that, but this one, like, just for whatever reason, I think it's something about the fall that you just get like a good like slab of meat and some cocktail, and it's just like it just makes your heart happy. Not your cholesterol, but your heart. You know.
Brandon, man, it's been a pleasure having you on. We really appreciate the time, and hopefully, we can have you on again next year, further on down the road. We could talk about what else is going on for, uh,
True
Yeah. Thanks for having me,
LinksWear.
guys. Like, it was a lot of fun, and we'll have to get you guys some shoes
yeah,
after this, and you guys can try them out for yourself. And if you guys want to come out and play some golf at the tournament next year, we'll have more information at the TrueLinksWear.com website, and learn more about it there.
awesome. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. You have a good night.
Yep. Thanks, you guys too. Take care.
Thanks. Yep.